Okay, let's see. What's cooking, everyone? How we doing? I know we're not going to be quiet and shy. Well, we're going to be quiet when Lauren's talking, but not when Leah's talking. No one cares.
Leah, you got so excited about getting snow. I have so many questions, and yet I want to ask none of them.
I will just say that whenever I watch Buffalo play like we did last yesterday, I don't know how you guys do that. So good luck. We don't want that kind of snow. I want like, oh, how cute. It's gone.
Yeah, like a Hallmark movie type
Yeah,
snow. Yeah, that's
exactly.
no, that's not real.
Mhm. It is down here
Cool.
because it happens and then it goes
And
away.
then canceling everything, right?
That's true. Yes, everything is canceled and there's not a single snowflake. That is true. Yes, that is true. Okay, are you guys all in the right room? Are we all here to sing karaoke? Right? That's why I had the
That's
music.
it.
Some people were really excited about that, and some people were really disturbed, like immediately disturbed. So, note to self: we're going to need to have a surprise karaoke match at some point in time. I'm going to sign everyone up for Red Bash. Is what I'm going to do. I have your email address. I can do that. Okay, no, we're here today to hear from Lauren Lucas. Just out of curiosity, aside from the notification that I sent out and that your coach sent out, who knows anything about Lauren Lucas? Has heard a little bit of a buzz. We've got two hands, multiple. Yeah, okay, yeah. So this isn't like I don't really know who she is, but my coach said I should come. Yeah, not surprising. Lauren, at this point, you've really claimed you've staked your claim as the AI expert in real estate, which is wildly exciting because for the longest time, as someone married to a software dev, I've been kind of concerned about us and our industry and what we've been using and not using and been wowed by in the whole nine yards. And so when we had the chance to kind of pin Lauren down, which ain't easy, she's all over the place these days, right? We jumped on it. So Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa to all of you. This is our gift to you as your coaches. And if you snuck in, that's great too. We're happy you're here. Okay. Um, Lauren, I'm going to turn the floor over to you. We'd love to hear just a little bit about your background. And then the thing that she's really going to lean into us about is lead gen, lead follow up, and AI tools in that realm. But I'm sure that any other little nuggets that she spits out are going to be absolutely amazing as well. So, Lauren, who the heck are you? How did you claim this stake? And what are we going to learn about today?
Totally. Yeah. So I am Lauren Lucas. I am in Columbus, Ohio. I've been an agent for going on 9 years now. And I think the thing that kind of pinpointed me as this, I, I don't know, AI guru, I guess is what people are saying, is that I'm just you. I was just a little early to the party. So I'm not some software dev. I don't have some big tech background. But I was in a room with Gary Vee in 2023. And he said, "Who here is using Google?" And about half the room stood up. And then he said, "Who here is using AI?" And the other half stood up. And that's when I kind of was like, oh my gosh, I really need to start to learn this. And then we ended up losing about half of our team at the end of 2023. And so I had to find a way to keep us going. And so I'm just you. I am just a realtor. I'm a business owner. And I was just a little early to the party. And so what I'm going to teach you today isn't something that's going to be some shiny object. It's not going to be something that is a hypothetical or a theory. I'm going to show you exact automations that I've built within our business. I'm going to show you exactly how you can do it too. I do realize that there's a lot of people on different platforms. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my platform, and then I'm going to show you two others that you can build no matter what your CRM is. Because Command, Brivity, Follow Up Boss, there's so many out there. All of this is possible no matter what you're using. And I'm going to show you, like I said, exact automations that we've had, how to set them up, and make sure that you guys have everything you need by the end of the day. Sound fair? Awesome. Leah's going to be watching the chat. So if you guys have questions, feel free. I'm very interactive, and we'll make sure that you guys have everything you need by the end of the day. So Leah, I'm going to ask you if I could share my screen here.
You should have the power. If it doesn't give it to you.
Perfect. Awesome. All right. So I do have a slide deck. We're going to jump around though, because I'm going to show you, like I said, actual workshop type skills and exactly what I use. So first and foremost, smarter lead magnets, automated nurture sequences, and automated AI-supported pipeline systems is what they had asked me to go over. So we're going to cover all three. But I do want you to know today is not about just learning another tool. Today is about actually designing a system where your business can run without you. Okay. And so first, I want you to write one of these three things down. What is the lead source that brings you the most volume in your business? What is the lead source that brings you the highest profit in your business? And lastly, what is the lead source that is the most neglected in your business? Because we have to know where we're getting the most volume, what is the most profitable, and where things might be falling through the cracks. And then what I want you to do is once you have those three things written down, just circle one and start there. So many people get so overwhelmed with AI because they think they have to do everything at once. But if we just pick one thing and start there, once we have that automated, then we can go on to the next thing and the next thing. And so this isn't about you having to spend 40 hours this week automating all of your systems. Just take like an hour a day throughout this time that most of our competition is taking off. If you just take an hour a day for the next 90 days and you focus on exactly what is needed in your business, I promise you, you can automate half or more. And so one thing that we utilize in our business is we have a big spreadsheet. We have a big spreadsheet that shows exactly who we've closed, where they came from, what the gross commission, net commission was, what their sales price, et cetera. So I have this prompt, and Leah, I'll send you these slides so you can send this out to people. But you could take your spreadsheet, just like I have, and you could tell ChatGPT, I want you to act as my strategic operations partner for my real estate business. I will upload my spreadsheet of closed transactions for the past X amount of years. Each row includes deal details such as lead source, net income, date closed, whatever it is that you have on your pipeline or whatever it is that you have in your spreadsheet. And what happens then is if you're not quite sure, you don't want to take the time to figure out what is the highest profit, what is the highest sales volume, you could utilize AI to analyze all of that for you and break it down in a way where you can see which of those lead sources are the most profitable in your business. Okay. You can also have it ask you for year over year or break down year over year and quarterly trends. You can have it, which sources are declining or growing or flatlining. So for example, if 2024, you closed, 30% of your business was open houses, but this year was only 10%, you can have it do things like highlight opportunities for automation and delegation based off of those specific sources. So I'll send this out to Leah, so you don't have to take notes right now on this, but this is a really fast way to have AI help analyze. And again, look here, it's your strategic partner. We're not just handing everything over to AI, we are still the thought leader. It is just the thought strategist that is working through exactly what we need to be doing at a faster level. Okay. So the first thing I want to talk about today is AI powered lead generation. How can we use AI to generate leads? Because my guess is in a room of 62 top performers, a lot of us don't have time to cold call and door knock and hold open houses every single weekend, right? How can we use AI to create that lead generation for us? And so there's 5 stages of lead generation in my world. These are the 5 stages where I had to pinpoint exactly what our process looked like and how I could automate specific processes within. So the first stage is your traffic. Where can people find you? For most of us, it's likely Instagram, or if you've got a YouTube channel, if you're doing open houses, you're getting referrals, you're running ads. We have to figure out where the traffic is coming from. So then once we know where that traffic is coming from, we can figure out how we're capturing them. How are they actually entering our world? And so what I found in my world 2 years ago was I was getting a lot of random emails from realtor.com or homes.com and all these different places. We were having open houses, but it was a sign-in sheet with a piece of pen and a paper. They were very inefficient processes, right? And Leah laughs, but that piece of paper got shoved in my book bag, and I would either go to my kid's soccer game or go to brunch, and it was like Monday, Tuesday. I'm like, oh, I spent 4 hours doing that. I should probably follow up with these people, right? So now that I know that that is a bottleneck, I can actually automate it. And I'll show you exactly how we did that today. So once we know where the traffic is coming from and how we're capturing them, we can start to have AI qualify these people. So in my world, when someone comes through an open house, and I'll show you the exact setup that we've got, when they come through an open house, not only is the contact automatically getting put in our CRM, it's automatically tagging them where they came from. It's automatically assigning the agent who's holding the open house. It's automatically doing all of these things. But also, I can have ChatGPT start to pre-qualify these people. So I know Jeff, so I'll pick on Jeff. So if Jeff comes through our open house and he, instead of having a piece of paper and a sign-in sheet for him to sign in, I could just have a QR code that he could just scan on his own phone. And he could fill out a quick form. And we have 5 questions, and I'll show you the exact form here in just a moment. But once Jeff fills that out, not only is it automating getting him into my CRM and updating tags and assigning agents, but also I could have ChatGPT say, "Hey Jeff, thanks for coming to 123 East Main Street. Are you currently in the market to look, or are you just exploring? Do you have a house to sell? Or is this your first time purchase? Are you relocating?" I can have it ask all of these different questions. So then what happens is, as I train AI in my world, everything draws back to getting the consumer to book an appointment on our calendar. So when Jeff does get through that process, and I already know now that Jeff has a house to sell, he's done these renovations, this is his timeline, he is or is not pre approved. And so when I show up to that consultation, I already have all of that information relevant to Jeff. I already have solutions to Jeff's problems instead of coming to him and asking him more questions. Okay. So AI can actually qualify these people, and then it can actually do all of the conversion. It can book the appointments, it can set up phone calls, it can assign it to different agents. And if Jeff isn't quite ready, or maybe if he's just exploring his options at this point, then it can actually be set up to actually nurture him. So I could have it say, or I could train it to say, once a week, follow up with him and check in, or automatically put him on my weekly newsletter or monthly newsletter, whatever it is that I want within my business. So these 5 stages are very important because we have to understand at a high level what happens when someone comes into our ecosystem and how we can get them from point A to on our calendar without us having to be the bottlenecks within the business, without us having to be the one back and forth of, "Hey, Jeff, how's Tuesday at 4? No, how's Thursday at 2? No, how's Saturday at 9 a.m.?" And back and forth. And it's all frustrating and it's just a waste of time. Okay. So these 5 stages are very, very important. We get the traffic, we figure out how to capture them. AI can actually pre-qualify them for us, convert them for us, and nurture them on our behalf. So one thing I want you to think of is, which stage is currently your bottleneck? When a lead comes through, where are things falling apart? Where are things falling through the cracks? Or where are we spending too much time as the human when we could, in reality, have AI take that heavy lifting off of our plate? So where do you typically lose people? Is it after they click? Is it after they fill out the form? Or is it after the first call? And for those of us who maybe do follow some of the big marketing people in the world, one of the ones I like, and I know we're all Keller Williams, but I like Sharon Shrivasta. And his biggest unlock that I've ever heard him say is BAM FAM, book a meeting from a meeting. So every single time we have someone and we have their attention and they have ours, we have to be booking the next meeting with them to ensure that things aren't falling apart. Okay, we can have AI do that on our behalf. Now, one big thing that I know that a lot of us probably have heard of, but some of us maybe have not, is we can actually generate leads that are coming to us with something that's called a lead magnet. Now, for those of you who don't know what a lead magnet is, it is quite literally a free item or service that we're giving away to a potential client in return for their name, their phone number, or their email. And so one way that we could create these lead magnets is we could have 5 things to avoid. So for example, if I'm working with a first-time home buyer, I could say 5 things to avoid when buying your first home. Step 1, don't bring dad to your inspection. We could also have 5 things to avoid when downsizing, or if you work with investors or military, whatever it is, you could have AI write this for you, write this with you, and just put it on a simple Google document. It doesn't have to be hours on Canva, picking the right hex codes and the right fonts. If I have a specific solution to someone's specific problem, it doesn't matter what it looks like. It matters that there's value. Okay. We could also do things like ebooks and relocation guides, webinar links for virtual events. We could do custom GPTs. If any of you have heard me talk before, I've created a lot of these custom GPTs. So for example, if I am working with a first-time homebuyer, I could create this custom GPT that has trained on how to increase their credit score. It's trained on how to save for down payment, how much down payment they actually need, different down payment assistance programs throughout the market that I service, maybe the zones of where those down payment programs actually are available. And what happens then is this lead magnet could be an interactive lead magnet instead of just a static lead magnet, meaning they could actually ask it questions. And for example, that one specific buyer GPT, I've also trained it on the 105 things that we do as a buyer's agent. I've trained it on the lenders that we utilize, the home inspection companies, et cetera, that we utilize. And so everything that it's teaching that person, it's driving them back to me as the agent. We could also do Eventbrite links for events. So I'm just going to give you a couple of examples here on what I have automated. So say, for example, I work with first-time homebuyers. I know that they are on Zillow. Majority of them are already on Zillow. So I'm going to meet them where they're at. So I could create something like this that just says 5 things I wish every first-time homebuyer knew before they started searching on Zillow. And so now, instead of me trying to talk to everybody, saying things like rates are up, rates are down, there's a lot of inventory, there's not a lot of inventory, and just being very vague, I could then have a specific solution for a specific person. So if I'm scrolling on Instagram and I'm your consumer and I see something like 5 things I wish every first time homebuyer knew before they started searching on Zillow, I'm going to be like, whoa, I'm on Zillow. I need whatever this document is. And so I'll show you exactly how we can automate those types of things too, but we have to know who it is we're serving. We have to know what their pain points are so we can position ourselves as the authority who's going to actually be the solution to their problem. Okay. And so again, this document, 5 things I wish I knew every first time home buyer knew, what I can do then is at the very bottom here, I've got book a call with me. So I'm automating the delivery of what it is I'm giving them. I'm going to show you in just one second. I'm also automating them getting on my calendar. So they can literally just click on this. I use a platform called Calendly for my calendar. So if Jeff is coming through, he's automatically getting this message. He can see exactly when I'm available. He can go ahead and book his consultation with me, and I can get all of his information here. I also have this set up where after Jeff books his consultation, it says, please fill out this form. He can click on this form and it will start to capture all of his information, how he likes to be communicated with, if there's any other decision maker, what his timeline is, what his pain points are. And again, I've automated all of this. So as he's filling this out, it's automatically updating him in my pipeline. And I get a lot of people who are like, well, I don't want the consumer to think I'm lazy, or I don't want the consumer to think that, I'm trying to get out of doing the hard work. I understand that. But if we just reframe the conversation and we say, hey, we're so excited to help you, this is actually going to save you time. This is going to help us tailor this search directly for you. It's going to ensure a smooth and efficient process. If we make it all about them and we show them, hey, this is exactly why this step is here, is to save you time, energy, and effort, it becomes a no-brainer. They don't, resist having to fill this out because I'm showing them what's in it for them.
Can we pause for just a split second on that too, Lauren? Because I am curious. You had a massive business, you added in all the AI, and you have a massive business. So I'm kind of burying the lead here, but your business has not tanked by adding in these automations. People aren't like, oh, well, we no longer want to use the home team.
No, we increased our units by 20% last year, our GCI by 32.8%. And it's all because we've made it more efficient. So I literally have, when someone fills out this form, they can choose which agent they want to work with. They can choose all this preferred communication, all the questions that I otherwise would be asking them across the table. I'm capturing it up front to make it a more efficient process for them. And so what happens then is if they are talking to 2 or 3 different agents, and I've already got solutions to their problems by the time someone else is asking them the same questions, I'm showing them how easy it is to work with me. I'm showing them that I'm already 2 steps ahead and thinking of everything that they're going to be needing in their transaction. And so it shows them, oh my gosh, like I'm in good hands. She knows what she's doing, or they know what they're doing, and they've done this before. And so what happens then is, like I said, the guardrails are lowered because I'm telling, hey, Leah, I know that this is going to probably take 2 minutes and it might seem a little annoying, but this is why I need you to do this. It's going to save you time. It's going to ensure that I make the most out of our time together. It's going to ensure that I come to you with homes ready and available that are going to match exactly what you're looking for, because otherwise I couldn't do that. Otherwise I'm coming to that meeting.
Yeah. It's the modern version of sending your pre-listing packet, right? Out of curiosity too, if we think through all the other industries that we interact with, literally from doctor's offices to nail salons, right? You are going to have some sort of preliminary fill this out prior to getting here so that we can actually address your needs. Out of curiosity, Brooke threw in the chat, are you using Calendly for this information gathering tool as well, or is that a third-party tool?
So this is built into my CRM. I use
Oh,
Go High Level. I white labeled it, but I'm going to show you exactly how you could use it no matter what CRM you're using, because you guys have the ability to have just a free Google form and then automate off of that if you want to. But here, like I said, that all these questions, you get to choose exactly what it is you want to ask them. What is inspiring you to buy or sell? If they choose relocating, then I could say, hey, I've got a referral partner already lined up for you there. If they're upsizing, downsizing, I can figure out exactly who they may need as resources depending on what it is that they're doing. So I can understand all of these different opportunities. They can even upload their pre-approval letter. That way I know exactly who they're utilizing and if they may or may not need one of my lender partners, you know? So all of this, it doesn't have to be robotic. It could be you literally asking the questions. All we're doing is automating the delivery and the receiving of the information. Okay. So here's how I do it. Every single time I post on social media, every time I want to generate leads, for example, I use a platform called ManyChat. Is anyone currently using ManyChat? If you guys just drop it like a one in the chat or something like that, because I can't see much. So ManyChat, perfect. So ManyChat, for those of you who are utilizing it, there was a new feature that came out about 2 weeks ago, where you can actually have it automated that you're saying hello to every single follower that comes in. So for example, in the last month, 799 times I've automated saying hello to a new follower and having that conversation get opened up. Because if Leah follows me and there's nothing, then they don't know what to do. But if Leah follows me and within 5 minutes, I have an automated message that says, hey, I'm Lauren. Here's all the ways that I can help you. And here's how you can take the next step. That's exactly what this does. So I have it set up. It says, hey, I'm Lauren. And since you're new here, thanks for the follow. Now that you're part of the crew, I'd love to share something special. Are you here for any specific content or just following along? So you can automate 799 times this sent, 206 times someone actually did actually click through. So I've got an 80% conversion rate just by having this one automation. Who could handle 206 conversations or 206 new potential clients in 2026 just by having this set up? And then you automate step by step by step. So for me, when they actually click or follow me, they're sent my link tree, which is where I have all the opportunities of how they could work with me. Here's how you can book a consultation. Here's a list of our Google reviews. Here's podcasts I've been on. Here's reasons why you should trust me. And so they can spend time getting to know me without me having to do anything except set this automation up one time. Okay. The other thing I use ManyChat for at a high level is every single time I want to do a webinar, have an event. You could do this for open houses. You could do this for new listings. So for example, you could come in here. I'll just show you how to do it real quick to show you how easy it is. And you could click a new automation and you could do what's called auto DM link from comments. And so if you guys do follow me on Instagram, every single time I post this, I have a call to action that says comment a certain word. This is all this is. And you do not have to build anything. All you have to do is make a couple of decisions. So in this, with ManyChat, there's a free version if you want one of these running off of one social media platform. I personally pay $15 a month for this because I've got multiples running across multiple platforms. Now, the decisions we get to make are, do you want this off of a specific post or any post? Now, if you're doing something specific like an open house or an event or a pie giveaway or letters from Santa or whatever it is that you're doing, you might choose a specific post. But if you're doing something more broad, like I just want to attract buyers or I just want to attract sellers, I personally would do the upgrade and have it go to any post or reel. That way I can set this up one time and use that same keyword over and over and over, and I never have to build this again. Now, once I set this up, I have the opportunity then to have AI watch for people commenting on my post and actually respond on my behalf. So for example, if I say comment the word Zillow because I want to get this 5 things I wish every first-time home buyer knew before searching on Zillow, I could tell it, hey, every time someone actually comments the word Zillow, I want you to respond and comment back. So if Jeff comments the word Zillow, but I'm at my kid's hockey game, I'm not having to worry about going back and getting Jeff that information. I'm automating that Jeff gets that information instantly so Jeff can take himself through that buyer journey that I've already built out. This is not robotic though. The only robotic part of this is the actual delivery because I'm the one still writing the responses. I'm the one still writing the comments that these people are going to see. So if you have a little bit of, maybe you've got a little sass in your brand, maybe you've got, you're more inquisitive, you could ask questions. You get to personalize everything that these comments are. AI is just going to deliver them on your behalf. Now, you could also set this up where if they say Zillow in my stories, or if they DM me the word Zillow, it will also fire off. I could even have it set up that when they do, I could actually heart the reaction to the story. So it doesn't look like it's robotic. I'm just telling it exactly what I would be doing as the human being and setting it up with the automations. Now, then I would choose my word. So we have to give AI the permission, not only to which post it actually can watch, but also what word is going to be the trigger. For those of you who don't know what a trigger is, it is quite literally what is the one thing that is going to tell AI, this is what I need to do now. The trigger is as soon as they comment the word Zillow, this automation will know these are the steps that I need to take. I'm going to comment back. I'm going to send them the DM. And we get to choose all of these options. Now, when they comment the word, not only is this going to respond to them with one of these 3 comments up here, but it's also going to simultaneously DM them whatever it is that we want. So say, for example, I wanted to send this 5 things I wish every first-time homebuyer knew. All I would have to do is take that Google document, go up to the right-hand corner where it says share. If you're not familiar with Google Documents, you definitely want to make sure that this is not restricted, because if it is restricted, they're not going to see access to it, and you're going to get a bunch of emails that people are trying to open it up and they can't get it. So I always make this anyone with the link, but I also make them viewer only. So they can't change anything about it, but they can get it. So all you'd have to do is copy this link and then tell the AI, this is exactly what I want you to deliver. And then just paste that link in. So now we've automated, just a quick recap. The second they get on our social media, the second they comment the word Zillow, we're commenting back to them, but also sending them a DM with our document. And it doesn't have to be a document. I've done Zoom webinars. I've done Eventbrite links. I've done custom GPTs, relocation guides, ebooks. It could be literally anything as long as it's a URL. You can lead generate on autopilot 24/7 without you having to do a thing. Okay, now there's 2 things that can be a little bit confusing with ManyChat. The first one is you do have the ability to ask them to follow you before they actually get the document. Here's what happens though. If Leah comments the word Zillow and my AI is saying, check your DMs, and she goes to check her DMs and she's so excited because she's going to get this document. And all of a sudden it's like, well, hold on a second. You got to follow me first. Leah would actually have to get out of the DMs, go to my profile, click follow, and I would have to hope that Leah's coming back, and she's probably not. Same for asking for an email. If I say, hey, Leah, do you want this free thing? It's packed with value. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, hold on a second. I need your email first. The consumer is going to see that as resistance. The consumer is probably not going to give that to you. Now, I do have friends that run these plays and it works. I don't know what their conversion rate is, but I personally do not do this because I don't want any sort of friction in the DMs, which is why when they get that document, if you remember, scroll down to the bottom, then I have this call to action. Then they can get on my calendar, and that's where I actually capture name, phone number, email, etc. I've already proven to them that I know what I'm doing. I've already proven that I've got value. Now I'm showing them their next step. And again, book a meeting from a meeting every single time. So that's how quickly you could have one of these set up. You just have to choose which posts, choose what comments you want, choose the word, choose the DMs. And then if you really want to, I typically turn this on too. I could even have AI follow up. So if Leah gets the comment back that says, go check your DMs, and then she goes and checks her DMs, but she doesn't click on anything, I could set this up that after 30 minutes, it's going to remind Leah that she actually needs to click that link to get to that document.
So we had a question in the chat box, and I'm curious, I didn't get from Jeff. I didn't ask Jeff. Apologies, Jeff. I'm going to make assumptions here. Buckle up. He asked, do you also follow back your followers? And I am curious the answer to that, but I'm also wondering, and Jeff, you can nod or give me a big absolutely no, you're just making stuff up, if that was because you were looking to have that human engagement. And obviously with all these steps that ManyChat allows for, if that assuages that need of like, I also need to follow back so that I'm having this human engagement. So curious.
Totally. Yeah. So typically, if I have the time, I will follow people back if they seem like it's something that I, want to build a relationship with. But every single person that comes through, I take 15 minutes or so at the end of the day. And if you guys don't know this, if you're on Instagram and you're either professional or creator, you can actually have, so say for example, here's my inbox. You can actually go through, hold down on your new follower and click add label, and then actually create them as a lead. So you can filter your entire DMs, take 15 minutes or so at the end of the day, everybody who followed you, go do that, make them a lead. And so when you do have things like a webinar or an event or an open house, if you wanted to have that human interaction, I could just filter my entire list of leads and know exactly who needs that information and get it to them rapidly with that human interaction if I want to. So filtering your new people who are coming through as leads is huge. Now, ManyChat itself can do like hundreds of different things. This is just the fastest two that you can set up. One, say hi to everybody who follows you, and two, create something of value and make a social media post and automate them actually getting it. So for example here, let's just see. Let me go back to the slides real quick. So for example here, if you had say you live in an area where there's a lot of relocation, you could have a relocation guide of like your favorite restaurants and coffee shops and things like that. That could be what you're delivering. If you want to, get new buyers for the year, you could just have a webinar and say, hey, come to this webinar and have people sign up for that. It's anything that you want within your business. And I guarantee you, out of 60 something people in this room, everybody's business is a little bit different. So I wanted to show you exactly all these different opportunities and use cases you could use this for. Now, no, like we talked about a little bit ago, analyzing who your ideal client is huge. We have to know who it is we're serving, because if we don't know who it is we're serving, everything that we're saying is going to go right over people's heads. So I have to know, if I'm working with first-time homebuyers, what are their pain points? What are the things keeping them up at night? And if you're not sure, ChatGPT will help walk you through it. So you could just tell it, I'm a real estate agent in this area. Here's who I service. What are their pain points? And have it help you create something like the 5 things I wish people knew about Zillow as your lead magnet. You don't have to do it from scratch. The AI will actually be your thought partner. And then once you create that value add for them, all you've got to do is make that social media post, and AI will do the rest for you using ManyChat. So for example, if I wanted to throw a masterclass for all of you, your realtors who, maybe you're trying to figure out how you can use AI to better your business, I could use AI to come up with what are their pain points. It's going to take too much time. It's going to cost too much money. And I could have something like this where it says, I've spent 18 months, thousands of hours, over $50,000 testing AI, so you don't have to. If you're serving first-time home buyers, it could be, I've been working with buyers for this many years and helped this many families, and this is the 5 things that I see people make the biggest mistakes. If you work with investors, these are the top, these are the top neighborhoods in this zip code for flips or, list to sales price, whatever it is in your business, totally up to you. But here's what happened. When I posted this, I got 97 comments on this one post. It brought me 45 leads off this one post. What happens then is, because people were choosing to be here, 100% delivery rate, 100% open rate, and 82.2% of those people actually clicked and registered for that webinar. So instead of you cold calling or door knocking or coming up with, other ways that are going to take your full day to come up with a new buyer or a new seller, if you just create something of value and you attract those people into your world and have something automated like this to deliver them, here's the Zoom link for my webinar, or here's the relocation guide for Atlanta, or whatever that is in your business, now they're raising their hand to be there. So your conversion is going to be a lot higher. I don't know about y'all, but no cold email or door knocking day that I've ever done was it 100% of the people showed up, 100% of the people actually were like, yeah, let's do this. And I got 82.2% of them to actually take the next step, right? So this post here, if you take 5 or 10 minutes to create the post, 5 or 10 minutes to work with AI to figure out what it is you're going to create to give them, and then 5 or 10 minutes to actually set up the ManyChat, even if it's your first time, under an hour, you can have all of your lead generation automated. And then, like I said, if you choose for it to watch all of your posts, you could just have it set up one time. And then all you're doing is just posting, comment the word Zillow, comment the word Zillow, comment the word Zillow on all of my posts. And I never have to touch it again. And they're actually getting the document, which shows them my calendar, which takes them to booking their own consultation on my calendar at a time that works for them, and gets them to fill out the pre-qualification form, which then updates my CRM and all the notes and. So taking that high 30,000 foot view, when we know from start to finish what we want this to look like, we can automate the entire thing. All right. So if you want, like, again, I'll send you this. This is the ManyChat QR code if you guys want that. So I send this automated.
Can I ask a real quick question, Lauren?
Sure.
Let's say you have different lead magnets. For example, one you made when people comment Zillow. Let's say you have a different one where you kind of make, okay, first time home buyer or anything. So you're changing it all the time. Like, let's say you did one post where you did Zillow and then you're capturing it via the link. And then now you posted a next post the another day, which is comment the word home buying, and then they're going to get a different document. So is that what you're doing with every single post or something?
Yes. So if you look here, because I have the updated version, the $15 version, I've got probably 8 or 10 of these running at all times. So 8 or 10 of these running at all times. So you could have one says, comment the word home buyer. One says, comment the word Zillow. One says, comment the word seller. One says, comment the word downsize. You could have multiple of these running at all times. And you can see here, I mean, some of them have been flops. There's been some that my hook obviously wasn't correct, but this allows us to see, I mean, this one got 91, this one got 33, this one got 55. This allows us to see what's working and what's not and have AI help us make it better moving forward.
Okay, so we can do multiple, that means, okay.
Correct. Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. Of course. So for example, if you wanted to have an event, maybe you were doing a first-time homebuyer seminar or a downsizing seminar, or you, like I said, I know we just passed Thanksgiving, but your pie events or anything like that, you could just make something like this on Canva real quick that says comment the word. This one, for example, was for an event we did last week. I said comment the word Columbus. And because I had this audited, there was 104 people that signed up for this event off that one post. 104 people got on the wait list for this event off that one post. And so we can take it another step. This is the automation that I did exactly for, let's see, where's the right one? This is the automation I did exactly for that one event. This could be for anything that you're doing. As soon as they fill out the form, it's creating the contact, it's adding the tag, it's actually texting them, and it's putting them on a spreadsheet. So I can even automate the fact that because there was an event host, I didn't want to have to sit there and tell them all these people that signed up. So I could just share this spreadsheet with them, and AI is actually, as Leah is filling out the form, it's automatically putting her in my CRM, but it's also automatically putting her on this spreadsheet that I'm sharing now with the host. So I'm completely out of the bottleneck. I have nothing that I need to do except set this up one time and it's automated. What if you did this for your open houses? What if you made a post a week before your open house and said, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, look, I've already got 23 people who are signed up to come to this open house. And we're automating, they're already in our CRM, ChatGPT is already talking to them, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so anything is possible, but we have to start with that 30,000 foot view so we know exactly what it is that we want to happen. Because here's the thing that I learned the hard way. Is if you don't look at that 30,000 foot view, you're going to start doing these small automations, which are really cool, but they're not all working together. And so you've got this broken system where it's like, okay, the form came in, but I'm still having to put it in the CRM. Nope. Okay, now I can add that in and that's what's happening, or whatever it is in your business, right? So you're attracting your ideal customer, we're automating, getting them whatever it is that you want, and then we can convert at a higher level, which can scale our business. And then what can happen is we can actually have AI follow up with them, nurture them, etc. So even when someone does house, like I was saying, I would put that piece of paper in my bag and I would maybe get to it at some point, but it wasn't efficient. So now if I could have ChatGPT step in and start to have this conversation with them, I can train it just as if I would an ISA. I can train it on exactly what it is it needs to be doing. So for example, you're an AI assistant for a top performing real estate agent. Your job is to warmly welcome open house guests immediately after they fill out the form. Your goal is to start a friendly conversation, pre-qualify the lead, get them to book on our calendar, whatever it is that you want it to be trained as. You can teach it how you like scripts that you use. You can teach it if they do, like, say, for example, if Jeff says he is in the market in the next 3 months, it could have a conditional logic where it understands what its next step is based off that answer. If Leah comes through and she says, hey, I'm just looking, it could say, okay, maybe we'll just automatically put her in the nurture sequence. We're not going to push to have a consultation because she's just not ready. So we can train it to do exactly what we want it to do step by step. We can also train it that if Leah comes through and she's not responsive, I could say, hey, this lead has not replied. Send a short follow-up text using 10 words or less to get a response. Or if Jeff is responsive, I could say, hey, he replied with this message, and I could show it where to read Jeff's message. So if Jeff is saying, I'm looking for a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom on the west side of town and I'm not pre-approved, it's actually going to read and analyze that message and respond specifically to him. Whereas a lot of us, myself included, before I actually built all this out, we're setting up campaigns and smart plans and drip campaigns, but we're predicting what they might say. We're anticipating what problems they might have, where if we know how to utilize ChatGPT in this, we can actually solve their problems in our brand voice in that moment. Okay. So if you're on Command, for example, obviously this is mine built in the Go High Level platform. But if you're on Command, you could just use a free Google form, have it automatically zap into Keller Williams Command utilizing a platform called Zapier. And I'll show you exactly how to do that in just 1 second. And then you could use Twilio and ChatGPT to actually start to converse with these types of people. Okay. If you're on Follow Up Boss or Salesforce or anything like that, personally for me, I would use a very similar platform to Zapier that's called Make.com. And I'll show you the differences here in just a moment as well. And then lastly, the AI supported pipeline. So even when a new lead does come through, we used to have this big whiteboard in our office. It's still there. We just don't use it. Where I would say, here are the coming soons. Here are the in contracts. Here are the, active listings. And we'd have to literally take an eraser and erase them and move them. What happens now, and this is just a demo account, but what happens now is when a lead comes through my system, I can have it come straight into the new lead area. So I can see every single day all the new leads I have. And then as soon as I have myself as the demo here, but as soon as I book an appointment, I could have AI automatically move it over to appointment booked. And after we have that consultation, I could automatically move it to consultation complete, needs follow-up, exclusive right is signed, coming soon, active, under contract. So we can teach AI our systems and our processes so it knows when to move people through this pipeline on our behalf. And another thing that we can do is once they do move from, say, appointment booked to consultation complete, I could have a trigger that says as soon as they're moved to consultation complete, send them a follow-up. Thank them for their time, show them what those next steps are, get them to book the next thing in my process. But again, we have to start with what does the full process look like so we know exactly where to put them. So for example, if someone automatically gets moved into exclusive right is signed, there's an email that goes out that says, hey, welcome to the LKW Home Team family. This is exactly what we do. Here's who we are. Here's where you can learn more about us. Once they're coming soon, we could say, here are the next steps. Showing time is set up. Here's exactly when your showing start, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Don't forget to open up the blinds. Don't forget to, get the dogs out of the house. Whatever it is that you want these things to say, it can actually move them through our pipelines automatically. Now, other things that we have in our business, and again, I know that a lot of you are utilizing a ton of different CRMs. So there are a lot of different ways that you could do this in your business, but we have an actual voice AI bot that picks up the phone. So if Leah finds, she's looking for Columbus Realtor on Google, and I'm in something like this, or I'm at my kid's soccer game, or I'm on vacation and I can't answer, instead of Leah then going down the next line of Google because I missed the phone call, I actually have a voice AI that picks up the phone. And it says, thank you for calling the LKW Home Team. How can I help you today? Are you looking to buy or sell? Are you looking to sell in the next 3 months? Or are you just exploring your options? And again, just pre-qualifying them step by step by step. And then it can actually text them the calendar link. It can book them for Tuesday at 5 o'clock if that's what they want. Or if they want to talk to me she can actually transfer the call to my cell phone. If Leah's like, hey, actually, I want to talk to Lauren, the AI is trained to know my phone number so it can actually send Leah directly to my phone. So again, everything is completely customizable in what we do with these things. But the agents who
Excuse real
agents
quick.
aren't. Oh,
Sorry, quick question on that. I'm sorry, real quick. Does the AI say it's an AI when it's
Yep, you have to know your state laws, and with automations and things like that, if all of our forms, they actually consent, and there's an opt-in and an opt-out and privacy policies and terms and conditions, and all of this is very new, so it's probably changing, but it does have to say that it's AI. So you could even call it, hey, this is Carlos AI, or this
cool?
is whatever it is that you want it to do. And again, reframing that conversation and just allowing people to understand, like, this is just an extension of Carlos. This is not a replacement of Carlos. I'm here to make your life easier, to get you exactly what you need when you need it, and Carlos can't be there all the time, right? And so that's how we reframe these conversations.
I
Thank
almost
you.
feel like this slide is like your mic drop moment here. If nothing else got soaked in of all the amazing bits of information, read this out loud and drop the mic for me. This is
Yeah, agents are not losing to better agents. They're losing the more efficient ones.
when
You
you
could
look
be,
around and you see
yeah,
like how did that person get that client? They and this is no judgment zone, but we've all been there. We've looked across the table and went, how did you get this client?
yep. And that's the thing is the agents, here's a big one. And Gary says this often. I say this till I'm blue in the face. AI is not here to replace us as the agent, but the agents who are utilizing AI are absolutely going to take market share. They're going to move faster. They're going to get more done in less time and make more money. I promise. And so by utilizing, even if you just take 1 hour a day for the next 90 days, your competition, they're not doing this. They're going to look up in a year or two and they're going to be like, oh, I should probably implement that. And by that time, you're already running complete circles around them. I saw a statistic on NAR back in September. Only 58% of agents are even utilizing ChatGPT. 58%. So already by utilizing ChatGPT, you're already ahead of, what is that, 42% of your competition? Now, utilizing things like this of, okay, what happens when I take a listing? Automate the process. What happens when I get a new buyer? Automate the process. Even for those of you who are rainmakers, what happens when I onboard a new agent? Automate that process. There's so many things in our business that we can automate. I've got 1, 2, 3 big whiteboards in my office, and that's exactly how I started. What's the bottleneck? What's the process? And then you start to plug in AI where you can utilize it. And the 2 big ones are lead generation, lead follow-up. Lead generation, lead follow-up, because it takes the most time and we get burnt out on it. Nobody likes to hear no. Nobody likes to be rejected or ghosted, but AI doesn't care. They don't take vacations, they don't talk back, and we can train it to talk and act exactly how we do. So, for example, our voice AI agent, I trained her on 19 different pieces of information about our business, where we service, who we service, frequently asked questions, who is, who are we? Where are the reviews that they can read? All of these things. So 19 different pieces of information. And all I did was copy and paste our URL, copy and paste our Google reviews, upload a buyer, pre-consultation packet. And it can learn and analyze all those things and basically answer any questions that people have right in the moment without us having to be there.
That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. So I have a stack of questions I've pulled out of the chat box that I want to make sure that we go through as well. And yes, I have done, I have one recording. We have one recording. All the other bots got kicked out. Speaking of AI. And we'll have the slide deck as well. Is that correct, Lauren?
Yes, I will send you the slide deck. Absolutely.
Yep. So we'll make sure to get those out to you. I know it's a ton of fabulous information. Up at the top of the call, someone asked, do you have a favorite LLM that you're using? An LLM meaning like a ChatGPT, Claude, etc.
Yep. So ChatGPT, Claude, Grok, Perplexity, Gemini. Most of us who are Keller Williams have Gemini Pro for free. Personally, for me, ChatGPT is the best in my world because I've been utilizing it for 3 years and it knows everything about me. Now, if you ask me the most powerful at the moment, Gemini 3 that just came out a week or 2 ago is the most powerful. However, there are a couple that have niched things that they're good at. So if you're specifically looking for market data and analyzing information and deep research, I use Perplexity for that. If you're looking for it to write newsletters and blogs or even code, if you're looking for it to actually write the code for you, Claude is the best at that, in my opinion, at the moment. So for me, I'm using chat only because I've used it for so long and it knows me so well. It writes in my tone. It knows exactly what businesses I run. It knows exactly what numbers and stacks and things like that. So for me, that's, but if you're just starting out or if chat doesn't really know you that well yet, you get Gemini Pro for free, and it's become the most powerful. And if you didn't see, if you're using Google Workspace, they just made a whole announcement that there's new agents in there that can actually do so much more for you. So if I was starting out today, I would probably focus mostly on Gemini. But because chat knows so much about me, I'm typically about 90% of the time using that.
We're in the same
Is that-
situation there. Yeah, I wish
Yep.
I wish I'd realized earlier that I had that I had Gemini for free, especially because I live in the Google Workspace environment so heavily. So
Yeah, well, and here's one thing, Leah, is I'm working on figuring out, I know there's got to be a way to do it, but in all of my free time, I'm working on having, without offending it, hey, chat, I'm going to move
Yeah.
everything over to Gemini. Please write the prompts to train it on exactly what I need it to learn.
I have fiddled with that as well, and it's been largely successful. It's just, again, the time it takes to do that. Yeah, I hear
Yeah,
you.
yep, yep.
Here's a great one, and I'm going to phrase it this way. Would you recommend, and is there someone specifically, maybe yourself, that you could hire to set the stuff up for you?
Yes. So there's a community that I run that there's a lot, I think there's 175 agents in there. I do have a development team in there just to help with questions. That's kind of the do it yourself with a little bit of support. If you want the done for you, I also have packages for that we could discuss offline, but I do one-on-one coaching. I've got full access to my development team that I've brought on. So there's a lot of things that I can offer. Now, personally, for me, I don't have all the time in the world, so it's going to be the developers who are building, not me specifically, but I will be the one coaching one-on-one if you so choose to take that direction. And it will be all AI. I mean, how we're utilizing it, how to set it up, because I built all of this off of watching YouTube videos. That's it. I watched thousands of hours of YouTube videos. If you look here, my keyboard is still broken because I slammed it down so many times out of frustration. But I learned all of this in 2 years, taking the long route. And so I do things like this now to give you guys the shortcut. What is it that you actually need in your business without all the noise, and how can you use it? What is the use case? How can you implement it? Let's go and just be done with all the extra stuff.
So some of the specific questions, like there's a great one in the chat bot, what company are you using for AI voice bot? I had someone ask, like, how are you integrating ChatGPT? How would one integrate ChatGPT and Zapier into Command? Sounds like that would be great things to join the community to get plugged into. Yeah. So let's make sure that well, there's one of two things that you could do. We could plug the community, or you can go to her Instagram, and I guarantee you, ManyChat will help you find the community.
It will. So to answer the questions, yes, if you go follow me on Instagram, you're going to get an automated message to my Linktree, and I think it's the second one down that says join the community if you're interested. And I do give a 7-day free trial. That way, if you get in there and you're like, wow, this isn't for me, no harm, no foul. My voice AI is built specifically into my CRM. Again, I'm on Go High Level. I've white labeled it to be our own. But if you're not on Go High Level, this website here is called Vappy. This seems to be, in all of my research, the best and the cheapest standalone option for voice AI. Meaning, if you only need voice AI, I would look here because you pay as you go. And I believe the pricing last I checked was like $50. Yeah, so it's 0.05 cents per minute for calls, or if it's texting, it's 0.005 per message. So it's very affordable, but again, we have to know what it is we want it to be doing. So AI is not just out there spinning its wheels and charging us. It's specifically asking the right questions to pre-qualify these people to get them to take the next step. Okay, so if you just need voice AI, I would look into Vappy. But again, you could go to ChatGPT or even Google if you're still using Google and just say voice AI, and it will give you a list of programs and platforms that's all they do is voice AI. But it's gotten so good now that you can choose, do you want it to be conversational? Do you want it to be, certain professional or educational or male, female, British accent? They can even speak, last I checked, it's like 33 different languages. So if you are bilingual, you could even have phone numbers specifically for this one's Spanish, this one's English, et cetera, et cetera. So it's really up to you how you want to do it. Mine's built into the CRM. This is another opportunity that's a standalone, and I don't have any affiliation with them or anything like that, but that's
Okay. Yeah, fabulous. Yeah, and again, it does seem like that community would be a great place to plug in and get some feedback and questions and communication with other people doing it as well.
Yep.
The thing that you showed us on Instagram, where you showed new followers and being able to sort through and then tag, would you be able to show that one more time? There's a couple people in the chat box that were like, "That was gold. Go back to that."
Totally. So the actual automation portion, or
When you said when you have a new follower, you can go through, and if you have a professional or creator's account, you can sort
Yep.
through to do that section. That's the part
Yep.
that folks were like, "How do you do that?"
Yep. So when you get into ManyChat, there's a automation called Say Hi to New Followers. So you would just click on that. And again, you don't have to build anything. You just have to make a decision of what do I want this opening message to be? And when they click send it over, what is it that I actually want to send to them? And so for me, like I said, if I've got my link tree, because that has a bunch of different opportunities of, here's how you can book a consultation, here's the podcast, here's our Google reviews, whatever it is that we want. You could have this be just directly to your calendar. You could have this
What
be
about
directly to a relocation guide, whatever it is that you want it to be.
when you held your phone up and you said, "I go to followers and I'm able to then tag them as leads"?
Yep. So every single person that
Close.
comes through, you can see the purple ones are the ones that I've already marked as a lead. So say, for example, Ryan, how are you not following me already, sir? Ryan just came through. All I'd have to do is hold down on Ryan. And if I wanted to make him a lead, I could click add label and then hit lead. And then he would have a purple lead. I'll delete you here in a second, Ryan, don't worry. But now you can see next to Ryan's name, add label, lead, save. Now you can see next to Ryan's name, it says lead. And so what that allows me to do then is if, say I have a new listing coming up, or say I have a new event that I'm running, or say I have a downsizers seminar. When I go to my Instagram, I can actually just filter, and now I see all the leads that I have in there instead of my mom, my best friend, my grandma, all the other people I talk to. You can just filter straight through to the leads and invite them to those types of things.
That is phenomenal.
So this label sorry.
I just sent a screenshot so that you can see that it's in your DMs when you're going through your DMs. So ManyChat is communicated with the person. You go through and you're looking through it. You hold on to that person's name and you can see where it says label, add label. Who was asking a question?
So you can only label them once the ManyChat sends an automated message, say like hi or something, or like
Once
let's say
you
we
have
have
a DM with them.
Okay, once we have a DM with them. So like even right now, let's say I don't have ManyChat or anything. For all the people who are in my DM, I can just like go and label them by commenting on their chat. Okay.
Correct.
I'll try that. Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Let's see. I think I had one more question. Oh, someone was curious. Obviously, as you were going through the lead magnets and the way that ManyChat was converting and all of that, and I'm trying to be mindful of time. It's going to be our last question. I'm going to squeeze in here because I know you've got to run. Obviously, we can see the opportunity of leads coming in. Could you give us, if you're comfortable, an idea of then the conversion ratios of that turning into appointment set?
Yeah. So obviously with me, a lot of my content this year has been stuff like this with AI. But once you actually, if you want to get on Calendly, all the analytics are right there. On ManyChat, all the analytics are right here. So you can see 80% of the people have actually clicked through. And I believe 26% of conversion is actually booked a consultation. So in that, you can kind of see, okay, top of funnel, how many people are coming through? Of those people, how many are taking the next step? And of those people, how many are actually booking the consultation? And of those people, how many are actually converting? So there's multiple tiers of that. Obviously, the 100% delivery rate then becomes 82.2% click. And then, there's a funnel to it. But I think the last I checked, probably about 26% are actually booking a consultation to take the next step.
Outstanding. And I would say too, when that question was asked, I thought to myself, of course, the more followers you have and the more engagement you're having on your profile, the more obviously leads you're going to have come through and the higher that conversion ratio will be. So
totally. And I think too, that's the thing is like focus on, if you want to spend time with sellers, focus on just creating content for sellers. Because here's the thing, in most cases, a seller is what? 2 transactions. potentially even 3 transactions if there's a divorce or, you know, some sort of job relocation or something like that. So just kind of know where you're at and how you can maximize the return of effort. And so for me, like I said in the beginning, what's bringing you the most profit, what's getting the highest volume, or what's the most neglected? Pick one of those and start there. And then once you have that portion automated, then step on to the next and the next and the next.
Perfect. We will, like
Awesome.
I said, sorry, I interrupted someone. No?
Okay.
We will send out the recording with the slide deck. Lauren, if people want to join your community or they're interested in getting in with your dev team, what are the best ways that they should contact you?
Yeah, so you can either follow me on Instagram, it's just Lauren Lucas _RE, or if you want to learn more about the community, like I said, there's a 7-day free trial. You can get in there and take a look around. No harm, no foul. If it's not for you.
Perfect. Love that. And Lauren obviously will be, maybe not obviously, if you haven't seen, we have a massive lineup of really cool speakers for Family Reunion. Lauren will be one of those, and she will be diving into, you guessed it, this.
Yeah.
So if you're like, this was great and I want more, then come down to Atlanta in February and we'll hang out some more about it.
Yes, I will be on Tech the Halls with KWRI on Thursday. If you want to go to, I think it's kwritechthehalls.com. And then Atlanta, I've got 2 breakout sessions, it looks like, that they've scheduled me for. So
Perfect. Thank you so
Awesome.
much for being here. Again, happy holidays to everyone. Thank you for coming to our last mastermind of the year. You need us, you know where to find us, and now you know how to find Lauren as well.
Thank you.
Have a great holiday.
Bye,
Thanks,
guys.
Lauren.
Take care.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you.